You are in an office meeting and there is a disagreement. You are not the one in the middle of the disagreement, but you are in the meeting and you can feel the temperature getting hotter and hotter. You can tell that things are about to escalate and become very, very nasty. What do you do in those circumstances? Do you just keep quiet and hope for the best? Do you try to escape so that you are not there when everything scatters? Or do you try to resolve that situation? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kemi and I am committed to helping you express yourself to get the best results possible. Disagreements will always happen. As long as there are people, there will be disagreements. So, first of all, get it out of your mind that there will never be disagreements and everybody will be fine and happy. If people have opinions, people have different perspectives, disagreements will happen, particularly in the workplace. It's unavoidable, but it can be managed in the best way possible. So if you are stuck in the middle of a conflict, you are not the conflicting party, but you are in the conversation. Maybe you are in the same room with them, you are in the same meeting. How can you intervene in the best way possible? How can you do your own part to ensure that that meeting does not degenerate into a disaster? In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 tips that you can practice to help you resolve conflict better in the workplace and help people in your surroundings manage conflict better and reach an understanding without things becoming so much worse. Number 1, listen. In the course of my many videos and in the course of sharing communication tips, listening is one of the biggest tips that I will always share, because we don't listen enough. Most of the time we think we are listening, but we are usually just waiting for the other person to keep quiet so that we can make our point. When there is a conflict, it's important for you to listen. You want to hear what each party is saying. You want to try and understand where they are coming from and what the cause of the conflict is. And this is not you listening to point fingers and say, actually, this person is the person that is wrong and he needs to just keep quiet. No, this is you listening to understand so that you can intervene in the best way possible. So be quiet and try to understand where each party is coming from. What is the cause of the conflict? Do you have enough background information to intervene? Do you have enough information to sort of understand what the issues are? The way to get the information is by listening. Remember that you're not the one in the center of the conflict, but you are around the conflict and you're trying to intervene so that you can bring down the tension. The first thing that you must do is listen. After you have gotten a good sense of what the issues are and you understand the people that are involved, the number 2 important tip is that you should not pick a side. If you are trying to resolve a conflict and you're not trying to create a street fight, it's not the time for you to begin to say, but you too, listen to what he's saying. You are actually wrong. No. When you do that, all that will happen is that the other person they become more defensive, they become more aggravated, and that issue will not be resolved. Do not pick a side. As much as possible, try to stay neutral. And I'm sure you're asking, Kemi, how do I do that? How do I not pick a side? Particularly when it's obvious that one person is wrong and the other person is obviously right. Bear it in mind that when there is a conflict, picking a side will not solve the conflict. At the end of the day, even if one person walks out, which can even cause a bigger issue depending on the circumstance, they will continue to feel aggrieved. That issue will not be resolved, and those problems will just continue to fester until another massive blowout happens. That brings me to my 3rd tip. After you have listened and you have been careful not to pick a side, the 3rd and most important thing that you want to do is to find a common ground. If you are both in the same organization, chances are that you are all working towards the same objective. You need to find that central point where everybody agrees on, and you want to bring everybody back to that point. When everyone sort of is able to see through the conflict that we're all actually working towards the same objective, then it's easier for tensions to dissipate. And what you're doing is that you are helping them refocus their attention from their personal grievances to the core of what we are trying to achieve. And let me give you an example. Imagine an organization where we are all trying to purchase, say, a company car. One person is trying to get it done in the fastest way possible within the policy. Another person believes that that way just doesn't work and there is a better way to do it. But there is a central policy, and what everybody is trying to do is to get that company car. So what should you do in that case? And you are caught in the middle of the conflict. It's not the time for you to say, actually, this person's approach is better than yours because this person has been here longer, this person knows what they are talking about. No, you need to bring them back to the center and say, okay, what are we trying to achieve here? We all want to get the company car. We all understand why this car is needed. So it's just our approach that is different. So how can we reach a middle? And then you examine the concern of this person and the concern of the other person. Remember that you are not saying you are right, you are wrong. Remember my second point, but you're saying, okay, this is what this person is trying to achieve, and this is why they are saying we should do it this way. And this is what this other person is trying to achieve, all to get us to the same end goal. So how about we consider this? Even if at the point of that conflict, people are not ready to consider a third alternative, reminding them about the central goal will help them feel less defensive and will help them remember that they are on a team. And you would now be able to talk logically and calmly about what next to do. And so, in summary, if you are caught in the middle of an office disagreement and you are trying to figure out the best way to sort it out so that things don't escalate and it doesn't break down into personal insults, number one, listen. Number two, do not pick a side. And number three, find a common ground that everyone can agree on. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have learned a tip or two. Do let me know when you put these tips into practice, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.